Good evening, Standard 5. So, once again, I am before you with the third chapter of social science, that is the Iron Age. As in my previous discussion, I have mentioned you the evolution of earliest humans. We have seen the Stone Age period, we have seen the kind of lifestyle people were living during that period. I have also mentioned you about the inventions and discoveries which were made during this period by the people. We have seen the discovery of the first metal, that is copper, and how it had an impact on the life of the people. Okay, so now let's move to the topic. See, as we all know that we are going through the life of the people who were living thousands of years back. So simply we are studying about the past, and history is the subject which deals with this. It is the study of past. Why I am discussing about history, why I am giving you a brief, just I am giving you a brief knowledge. Okay, see, it is a study of past, and the people who study this past are known as historians. So our historians have divided this whole time period into different phases. If you will see the early human history, it has been divided into different phases like Stone Age, Copper Age, Bronze Age, and finally the Iron Age. So ultimately there would be a curiosity in your mind why this division is there. See, the historians have made this division for your better and proper understanding, because this division makes the subject easy to know, easy to study, as well as it gives clarity about the topic. Okay, now, as you have seen during the Stone Age, stone was the material which was widely used by the people for different purposes, from hunting to even your making tools and weapons. We have seen stone was used, and during this period, you have seen the people life was nomadic one in earliest phase. Then they were hunters and gatherers, and then they finally became the farmers and started leading the settled life. And with this, there was evolution of the villages in the society. Now, in the Copper Age and the Bronze Age, the metal like copper and bronze were widely used by the people. That's why these ages are known as Copper Age and Bronze Age. Now, during this period, you will see trade has become one of the popular occupation of the people, and also there was development and growth of cities. Now, in this Iron Age, I will discuss with you about the usage of iron, how it had an impact on the life of the people, how the lifestyle of people was during the Iron Age, and how finally the growth of civilizations. Okay, so now if we move to the topic, you see, when we study the past, the starting and the ending period, you cannot mark the exact date of the year. So it's very difficult to mention about the starting time period as well as the ending time period of a particular period. Suppose when the Stone Age start ended, you cannot say that the stone was completely not used by the people when this Copper Age started, because finally the Copper Age started, so the people were not using the stone. It was not like that. Even when uh, Copper Age ended, people were it was not like that. During Bronze Age, people were not using copper. So it's very difficult to mention about the ending and the starting phase of the um, particular different periods. Okay, see why this age was known as Iron Age. See, iron was actually, it make the life of people very easier and better, and this period was known as Iron Age because it was widely used by the people for different purposes, for making cooking pots to making the nails and tools and weapons and others. It was widely used by the people, and this period, this Iron Age, had a great mark in the history. See, because we have seen that the evol. See, today what we are. See, today we are known as civilized and developed humans, but it was not like that thousands years of back. The process was gradual one. Okay, so that's why this Iron Age, it had also a prominent role in the development of the civilization as well as the human beings. Now, now, if we talk about the starting and the end period of the usage of iron in the world, it is not same throughout the world. Okay, so the usage of the period of usage of iron started and ended in different time period around the world. So around 1200 BCE, from the country Turkey, the iron, the usage of iron started. Okay, but the technology was kept secret by the people of this country. They did not share this technology with the other parts of the world. But by 700 BCE, the usage of this technology, it spread it from Europe to the different parts of the world. We have already seen that with the appearance of metal age, different kinds of metals were used by the people, whether it was your copper, tin, bronze, all these were the metals which were used by the human beings for the different purposes. But in comparison of iron, if you in comparison of these metals like your copper, bronze, or tin, iron was much more popular and it was widely used by the people during this period. What is the reason behind this? See, iron was widely used by the people as it was much better in comparison of your copper, bronze, or tin. It was very easier, it made the life of the people easier and better, because if you will see the usage of iron, it became more popular because of the qualities which iron had as a metal. See, iron, it was much more stronger, cheaper, and it was tough in comparison of your bronze or copper. Okay, so it was widely used for making tools and weapons. Now the second thing is was that iron was widely available. Okay, so it became very if you see your copper or bronze, it was not widely available. So the wide availability of this metal also made the metal very popular for you among the human beings. As you know, iron is a very tough metal, so it could be shaped into more sharp as well as finer weapons as well as tools. So it made the occupations like your farming, military occupations very easy, because availability of there was wide availability of tools and weapons which made the farming easier, as well as because of the now the farming was easier, the surplus, there was a surplus production in the society. It led to the growth and development of the civilization. See, you also know that iron did not need to be mixed with other metals, like you produce bronze by mixing copper and tin. In case of iron, you do not need to be mixed it with any other metal. So you can heat the iron and simply give it the shape and hammered into best tools. Okay, now the whatever the usage I have mentioned you about the iron, it made iron very popular in the society, and because of its popularity, the iron was widely used in different occupations. See, it was used in trade also, in your farming, in military purposes. So in different occupations, it was used widely by the people during this time. And because of its easy availability, it was cheaper in comparison of other metals. It was very popular in the society. Okay, now we will move to the life of the people in the Iron Age. We will see what kind of lifestyle, what kind of fooding habits, clothing habits, what kind of occupations people were having during this period. Okay, discovery of iron brought a great change in the life of the people, because you will see already have mentioned you that the discovery of iron made agriculture very easy. And now with the surplus production, what is the meaning of surplus production? Extra production. So people were earlier growing the food for themselves and their family, and apart from that, little amount of it, if the little amount is left out, it is given to the society. But now with the advancement of tools and the different kinds of advancement which were made in agriculture, now farming was much more easier. And with the easy farming, now the people were able to produce extra. And now this extra production led to the growth of population as well as the civilization indirectly. The discovery of iron led to the invention of many iron tools like your iron blocks, iron sickles, and these were the items which were used in the agriculture by farmers. Suppose your iron block, it was used to dig the ground, and with the iron block, now digging of the ground was much more easier, better, as well as faster. Now this iron sickle, it was used to cut the ripe crops. Now this process, this work can be done in more faster and easier way by the people. So ultimately you are seeing that the discovery of iron led to the advancement in of the led to the advancement, as well as it also made the life of the people easy and better. Now even the iron axes which were made from iron, it was very strong tool. It can be it was used by the people widely to clear the forests. Now there are more farmlands. More farmlands means more production, and more production means large settlements, large growth of cities and towns and villages. Okay, because during this period you will see agriculture was the major occupation of the people. Okay, everybody in not everybody but almost everyone from the society was directly or indirectly involved in this occupation. Okay, now what were the major crops which were grown by the farmers of this period? Talk about the iron age, you will see that wheat and barley were the two major food crops grown majorly by the farmers during this period. Now, as you have seen that with the discovery of the iron, there were inventions of tools, iron tools like your iron blocks, iron sickles, iron axes, and with these tools, now the farming was easy process. So people, apart from farming, if they are involved in the farming, apart from farming, now they had some spare time to get involved in different occupations or in different activities. So what were the occupations of the people during this period? We will discuss it now. So you will see that farming was the major occupation. Apart from farming, people were indulged in cattle rearing also. So sheep, goats, geese, these were the animals and birds which were reared by the human beings during this Iron Age period. Now, apart from this, people were also involved in the different craftsman work. What is this craft work? Craft work like your jewelry making, blacksmith. The blacksmiths are the people who are indulged in metal work. Okay. Now, see, as I have mentioned you, people have sufficient time. Apart from farming, they have sufficient time, and now they were utilizing this spare time to get involved in other activities, and in the due process the other occupations in the society developed, whether we talk about pottery, whether we talk about craft works like your jewelry making, ornament making. Jewelry means ornament making only. Okay, so these kind of other occupations also developed in the society. So if you will see the society, human, especially the society during this Iron Age period, the male members were the head of the family, and the men used to get training for the war, and whenever there was a need, they used to serve the king in the wartime. As well as the women were also indulged in the activities like making of earth pots, and women used to take especially the care of the families. Okay, now if you come to the fooding habits of the people, you will see that the major food which was used by the people was bread and porridge. You know what is this porridge? It is actually you can say, you can take the example, it is a liquid, a thick liquid, which is made by mixing the rice and the milk or water. Okay, and stew. Stew is actually a kind of solid material which is cooked and have a lot of gravy. It can be either cooked with the vegetables or even the non-veg items like your meat or fish, okay, having a lot of gravy. This is known as stew. These were the fooding habits which were adopted by the people during this time. If you see the houses which were used by the people during this period, it was majorly made up of, by the end of the Iron Age period, you will see there was a use or usage of iron hills, forts. So the forts were made of iron, and it was surrounded and protected by the warriors. So because during that time war was very prominent, one tribe used to get rivalry with the another one, or the other tribe, they used to, they were always they were always ready to capture the other part of the city, other part of the village or the towns. So ultimately, in order to protect their territories, what the rulers or the kings or the head of these tribements were they were doing, they were using the protected they were protecting the area, especially with these forts which were made up of iron. And the houses used by the people, it was round in shape, and people have only one big room in which they used to live, and the houses was made up of mud, straw, and the other items, okay.